Hey travelers, Nitzan Mosri here, your traveling investor, and I'm going to share with you now, we're going to talk about some lingo, some jargon that we have in the commercial real estate industry that is very important for everybody to understand, to know, and to be familiarized with. So let's get to it. So first, we have cap rate. Cap rate, or otherwise known as the capitalization rate, and that is the ratio between the income and the purchase price, okay? Usually when the cap rate is high, that means that the property is cheaper. When the cap rate is low, the property is getting more expensive. Think about it like this. If you have a property that is $500,000, the purchase price, and the net income that it receives is $100,000, would that be an expensive property or a cheap property? That would be a cheap property, hence the cap rate will be higher because of the ratio between income and purchase price. Next is we have net operating income. The net operating income is the income that is generated off the property minus all the expenses that the property incurs. And the expenses can be anything from real estate taxes, property insurance, property management, marketing, general admin, contract services, pool equipment, landscaping, utilities, anything of that nature. You subtract that from the gross income and then you get your net operating income. Remember, you do not include your debt service or your mortgage payment when you're calculating NOI, okay? Due diligence. Due diligence. Now there's a couple of things on due diligence, right? You have your physical due diligence, you have your financial due diligence, you have your market due diligence, you have due diligence on your investors and on your partners. Due diligence means that you go out and you do what you need to do to make yourself comfortable. You do your inspections, you investigate. So what is physical due diligence? Physical due diligence is actually going out to the property with a couple of inspectors and walking the property and checking every single unit and everything that is involved physically on site. You check the roofs, you check the attics, you check underneath the crawl spaces, you check the windows, the heating and cooling systems, you check the electrical systems, you check the hot water tanks, you check the plumbing, the appliances, the flooring, the exterior of the property, you check the structure of the property and the foundation of the property, you check the landscaping of the property, anything that has to do with the physical construct of the property, you do an inspection, and you have what's called a due diligence period, a time frame of when you can accomplish all of that, right? Then you have your financial due diligence, which is doing your investigation on the income and expenses of the property, right? You want to make sure that the property is doing exactly what the seller has painted a picture of for us, right? So you want to go in, you want to check the financials records, you want to check the income and expense reports, you want to check the tax returns, you want to check the leases and the applications and all that, your due diligence, your financial due diligence, anything on the finances. You also want to do your due diligence on the market. You want to investigate. You want to see what is the best area in the market to go into, which market is the best to go into, and what part of that market to go into. Where is the path of progress? So that's your due diligence. That is what due diligence means. It means to go out and to do your homework. Debt service. In the commercial industry, debt service means mortgage payment, right? What is your mortgage payment? What is your debt service? Then we have debt coverage ratio or debt service coverage ratio, DCR or DSCR. That is the ratio, another ratio between the income of the property and the mortgage payment, right? There's a certain ratio between how much money is coming in to how much mortgage you're going to be paying out. And usually lenders like to see a minimum of 1.2% debt coverage ratio. We like to underwrite where we're a little bit higher just to make sure that we have that extra buffer, conservative underwriting. Then we have what we all love. It's called the acquisition fee. The acquisition fee is the fee that we, the syndicators, the promoters, the fee that we get for putting the deals together. We go out, we find the projects, we find the market, we do our due diligence on the market, on the sellers, on the properties, right? We find the best properties to bring to the team. And once we do that, we bring in our investors and we put everybody together. And when we close, we get what's called an acquisition fee. that fee ranges between 1 to 3% of the acquisition price, of the purchase price. So let's say we're doing a $10 million property, right? And we have a 2% acquisition fee. That means that we get $200,000 fee at closing for making the deal happen. It's a beautiful thing. Now we're going to talk about two different things called general and limited partners, right? Limited and general partners, right? So think about what it says, limited, right? Our limited partners are the partners, our financial investors, are the investors that come in and invest capital into our projects, right? They have a limited say in the day-to-day running of the property. For example, if you're raising money from a surgeon, you wouldn't want that surgeon telling you how to run your commercial property the same way the surgeon wouldn't want you telling him how to operate in his operating room. So they are limited partners. They have a limited say. General partners, the GP, this is us. We are the partners. We are the ones that go out and we have a say in the day-to-day running of the property because this is what we do. We are the professionals. So that's your limited and your general partners. And next we have sponsor, or the key principal. The sponsor is the person who has the track record, who has the liquidity and the net worth to be able to sign and to guarantee the mortgage, the debt on the asset. Usually lenders want to make sure that the sponsor, the key principal, has in his or her portfolio the same asset class that you're getting that debt on. For example, if I am an investor and I invest in self-storage and now I'm going to sponsor a multifamily deal, the lender may look at that and say, well, you know what, Mr. Sponsor, you don't necessarily qualify for the in the asset class realm. You would have to bring in another sponsor who has multifamily in their portfolio. You can have multiple sponsors in a deal. One person can qualify with the net worth, one person can qualify with the liquidity, one person can qualify with the track record and the asset class in their portfolio. So it's important to make sure that you treat your sponsors really, really nice because they're the ones that are going to help you get everything across the finish line. So if you like what you hear here, if you like what you see and what you hear and you're getting good content, do me a favor, go down below, click like and subscribe, and stay tuned for some more valuable content. This is Nitzan Mosery, your traveling investor. Take care.